Well, boys, I guess we're no longer going to get Hammond collection reveals for Beyond the Gates anymore, so I guess we can just... What's up, you guys? So today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the 2025, the December 2025 Hammond collection figures. So let's get into it. And also, before we continue, I have a sore throat, so if I sound sick, that's why. But wait a minute, where's the Dryosaurus? Why, I'm glad you asked, and honestly, I don't know. They didn't reveal it in the reveals. Starting us off, we have the Muskosaurus, which honestly looks a lot better than it did back in the San Diego Comic-Con reveals, which is granted because those images were not necessarily the most reliable, especially the Muskosaurus where we couldn't even see the damn thing. But, yeah, let's take a look at it, shall we? For whatever reason, none of these animals have, official box images, and I don't understand why, but, we have a box image from the Beyond the Gates episode, and, honestly, it's pretty meh overall. So all these new figures come with something that no other Hammond collection figures have ever came with before, interchangeable body parts, which, I guess technically Dilo came with an interchangeable frill, but technically not accurate in terms of paleo accuracy. But anyways, so as we can see, this thing has planted feet and also curled feet. Or I guess planted hands and curled hands. And I do kind of like that they have new hands. Apart from the fact that, it's metal and the plastic isn't necessarily the best quality. So in my experience at least, if I swap out parts, I will end up causing the joints to become incredibly loose. And I don't really want to risk that with my figures, so, yeah. Oh, and also here is the Muskosaurus next to the Ornitholestes, and my goodness, this guy looks absolutely chopped in this photo.
Hey man, you got some crack?
And, this figure is pretty meh. But anyways, now let's move on to the Ornitholestes. So this figure also comes with some curled and open hands, and overall, I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't necessarily like it either. One thing I have failed to mention, and what is probably pretty obvious right now, or it may have been obvious since the San Diego Comic-Con reveals, but they're no longer doing the glass size for the small to large figures. So that's actually kind of good, because honestly, I don't really... I get it, the glass eyes are pretty cool and all, but, they're just, a big old nuisance. They're either done too small or done too big, and, there's just, I can't even describe it. But that also does kind of make me worried for future releases, for example, Charlie and Echo, or perhaps the entire Velociraptor squad, minus Ghost. So, will those still have glass eyes, or will those be changed? And will we get full articulation for those? I kind of hope they don't, just because it would probably feel out of place for the other figures. But, only time can tell. And this is the first and currently only Hammond collection figure of the small size range where there is full articulation, full leg articulation, full arm articulation, including the wrists. And, you get the idea. And like I said, I really do not hate this figure, but I also do not like this figure at all. And now we're going to be moving on to the most surprising reveal in this lineup, the Sinoceratops. Okay, I lied. Maybe this isn't the most surprising reveal. We did kind of expect this to come at some point, but shut up! As you can see from the box looking very small, and for there having a little tag or some sort of thing that to allow it to be hung up on store shelves. This is a medium-sized figure, so the medium-sized figures are officially back. Stop cheering.
Huh?
Since this figure is in the medium-size range, it will be way too small. And also, it's also just another glorified brick like the Triceratops, this time green. Anyway, so the Sinoceratops, yeah, I don't really like this one too much. First of all, this thing is sand green, and if you know anything about sand green, you would know that it's not necessarily the most prettiest Lego color out there. Although I don't really care too much for sand green myself. This thing also comes with a damaged horn and a interchangeable open jaw, which I guess they're getting in the right track, but at the same time, I mean, like, come on. Why can't they just, like, actually improve the jaw so that way it looks at least somewhat natural on the figure, instead of trying to find every single solution when there's clearly one right in front of them? Also, the figure's open mouth looks terrifying and it looks ugly, so, yeah, I've had enough of this figure anyway, so,